Good day, everybody. Hello and welcome to today's webinar. I'm not sure if we need to give people a few more seconds. We've got a couple of people still joining, but let's get started so long, and I'll do the intros, and then hopefully by the time they join, Senia will be able to take over. My name is Matt Raven. I'm the Sales Director for EMEA at GlueUp. It's great to have you all with us as we dive into a really important topic for associations across Europe. And that is how to build and grow sustainable revenue. So today's discussion goes beyond just membership dues. We're going to explore practical and innovative approaches to generating revenue from a variety of sources, from events and partnerships, right through to digital engagement and value-driven services, all while staying true to your mission as an organization. We're going to cover new ways to generate revenue that align with your mission, how to monetize engagement to increase member lifetime value, and also strategies to diversify income streams and strengthen long-term growth. At GlueUp, we know that association revenue growth starts with a clear, repeatable sales process. And this session is your opportunity to learn how to build one that truly works. Now, to guide us through today's session, I'm pleased to introduce our host, Senia. She's our Senior Sales Manager for Europe at GlueUp. Senia works closely with associations across our region and helping them modernize their engagement strategies and discover new sustainable ways to grow revenue. At the end, we're going to have a Q&A session to answer any questions you may have. So please keep your questions. You're welcome to ask questions as we go as well. And at the end, we'll try and answer those. Senia, over to you.
Thank you very much, Matt, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's session. And let's get started. So let me start sharing my screen with you all. Okay, so as Matt already mentioned, my name is Ksenia Farkas. I'm a Senior Sales Manager at GlueUp. And I will be leading today's webinar on the topic of the association revenue growth strategy. I will try to make it as engaging as possible. And as Matt mentioned, please do leave any questions that you have in the chat box, and we'll cover them in the end. So just a bit of my background. I started in sales back in 2017, actually with GlueUp. And given that GlueUp software was specifically designed and built for membership-based organizations, throughout my career, I mainly work with membership-based organizations, so with associations, with chambers of commerce and societies. And for this webinar, I even checked that I had over 1,000 meetings for this year's. And they were all with the associations and chambers of commerce. So I had an opportunity of meeting organizations from 23 different countries. They were all from different parts of the world, different sectors, different sizes in terms of their staff members, in terms of the number of members that they have. And of course, many of them, right, they had similarities in terms of their approach towards the organization's growth. But of course, also some organizations had their unique ways of how they manage their organizations. However, what always stood out and still stands out is that most of the organizations, they look at the growth of the organization, of their association, mainly by selling memberships via different packages. And during today's presentation, we will talk about how organizations can maximize engagement beyond the membership acquisition. Just a couple of words about GlueUp. The company that we represent, GlueUp, as I mentioned, was built specifically for membership-based organizations. We partner with over 1,500 organizations across 72 countries, and we provide them with an all-in-one association management software. So during today's presentation, let's first look at the kind of the main point here, that selling goes beyond the membership acquisition. It's important always to remember that selling doesn't end when you get a new member with your association. It doesn't end when an organization receives an invoice, pays for it, and the membership is being activated for them, and then the member is added to the different distribution list. I would even say that for associations, getting a new membership, it's the selling process begins, right? Because then you begin building this relationship with a company member or individual during this membership term. And if the relationship is successful, if the engagement is good, then it leads to the renewal. And a lot of associations that we work with and we talk to, right, during different demonstrations, and most of them, they come from a non-profit environment. So when they don't really generate the revenue. However, if we imagine that selling isn't always about the money, we might find a lot of different opportunities, right? So because we deal with sales in our everyday lives, we sell kind of ourselves at work. We sell our ideas when we work on a project. Organizations sell services, companies sell products, and essentially the sale is a part of our everyday life and also organization life. So now let's, in brief, talk about what we are going to discuss today, right? So what are more or less obvious member engagement touch points? And based on our conversations, these are the event attendance, subscription engagements, special offers, and also sponsorships and partnerships opportunities that are being offered by the organization. So let's start from the events. What we often see by talking to different associations is that events are usually organized mainly for the existing members, because this is part of their membership benefits, right? Because it was included in the membership packages, in different tiers. However, based on our experience of talking with different organizations around the world, it's very clear that organizations can really benefit from creating and organizing events and meetings for the non-members as well, right? To make available like meetings, maybe the webinars can be online, right? In person, hybrid events, or different content. And the idea behind it is that, first of all, associations can position themselves as industry leaders. And the second, associations can actually collect some information about non-members that they normally wouldn't able to get from them. So essentially, it's a win-win situation. So non-members get access to the relevant, good quality content. And again, it can be a recording, it can be a live webinar, a white paper, research, some file, maybe the PDF, right, some document that you have on the website, and you require the form to be submitted before it will be downloaded. And in return, the non-members can provide organizations with information about themselves that can later be used for the marketing purpose. And of course, essentially, it can result in getting a new member or some services promotion. Usually associations, I mean, of course, not all, but a lot of associations, and they have very basic registration forms for their attendees. I would even say a form, not forms. And usually it is the same form with exactly the same set of questions for both members and non-members. And usually this form includes like very basic fields, such as the first name, last name, email address, company, job title. And normally organizations use this information to cross-check with their CRM systems if this attendee actually a member of the organization or not, and then either approve the registration or decline it. And the best case scenario is when actually organizations have two registration forms for their events. One is for the members and another one is for the non-members. Member form can have very standard questions, such as we just discussed, even let's say first name, last name, and email address. And the non-member registration form can have way more questions added, which can help you to target this, this contacts better after the event. And of course, it is also important to identify what type of data would be useful for your organization and what you are trying to do with it later on, what you are trying to achieve. So of course, this strategy has to put in place before you start introducing this, this type of forms, right, for your events. And the questions that you can include may vary. So, for example, you can add a question such as, "How did you learn about our organization and this specific event?" It doesn't have to be like a very big conference; it can be just a webinar, right? And you can even have like a drop down to analyze after the event. If it was via the social media, through other company, through the email marketing, it might be a recommendation. Or you can be asking something more specific to your industry, maybe years of experience. What else can be there? The degree level, right? Or you can be even more direct with your questions and ask if contact would be interested in receiving more information about your association or even about the membership offerings. So, and then later on, this collected data can be used for marketing, for the marketing purposes. And of course, if you have a CRM that can help you to identify, let's say, warm leads, someone who attended your webinars a few times but still doesn't have a membership, you can go even further and offer them, for example, a membership application discount for the first year with a limited time validity. So it can be, let's say, a 10 or 15% off for the first year membership that will be valid, let's say, the next 10 days. Of course, the percentage and the offsetting amounts should be making sense for your organization, and it needs to be calculated before. Now, let's talk about prospecting, right? So in general, how do associations get new members? A very standard way is by having a membership application form on their website. And the associations tend to do a lot of promotion on the social media, right? Especially on LinkedIn nowadays. It can be by, let's say, organizing a very big annual conference where they invite members and non-members. Additionally, associations also can, attend different conferences and expos, right, and meet with their potential members there. However, there are some, I would say, not very standard for the nonprofit world tools that can be that could be very beneficial for associations. I listed them here on the left side of the slide. So there are a couple of tools that you can review for prospecting. For instance, ZoomInfo, Lasha, Hunter, they all work in a bit different way. For example, ZoomInfo allows you to look for companies or individuals within the certain criteria. It can be location, can be industry, the company headcount, the turnover. So different filters can be applied. Lasha helps you to get maybe the phone numbers also for your potential prospects from LinkedIn, and Hunter allows you to, if you have this plugin, it allows you to scan the emails that are listed on the website of the company that you are browsing. Of course, it's also important to have a place where you would be adding all the leads that you gathered, not only from the conferences, from the expos, from like a personal recommendation, but also from, let's say, from these tools, right, from ZoomInfo or Hunter. So it would be good to add it into the CRM. So it can be, let's say, an Excel file or GlueUp, because we also provide a CRM within our system, or some other database. Because having just reaching out just via LinkedIn and not keeping track of these interactions doesn't really make sense. And the third point that I added here is the Google Maps location. This would really depend on the country where you are looking, let's say, for potential members. Because in some countries it works very nicely, and in some countries it's you might be not getting that much of data and information. So basically it can help you with finding let's say companies from the specific industry, right, that you can later on reach out using different tools. Now, and then when we talk about the segmentation, right, and for the pipeline, so when you have you have this first touch points, let's say there is an interest from a potential company or an individual to become a member of your organization, or maybe a sponsor or partner, right, then it's really good to have a pipeline that you can manage, right, within your CRM. And here I mentioned that there are two lead categories. I put members as the first category because, as we discussed, the selling doesn't end when you get a new member. It just starts because you have to sell the idea of registering for events, of opening the newsletters, providing good content. So kind of a lead as well for associations. And then the second category that we can focus more on it today, it's non-members, right? And as I mentioned, it can be potential members, sponsors, partners, even speakers at your event. So it's also important to have a different opportunity boards, so different opportunity pipelines for different categories, because they all might be needing different type of engagement, right? With potential members, you might be focusing more on calls and having a one meeting, but with sponsors and partners, it can be it can be more extensive. Moving on, so when we talk about the CRM and understanding the engagement, right? So the data that you collect can do a lot for you, because we all know that data is the power, and it can be used for the reports, for analysis, for projections, and of course for marketing. But usually the big question is how do we actually maintain all this information? And how do we keep the interaction right with the prospects and also with the existing members? So that's where having a CRM would really make a difference. And from my conversations with associations, I noticed something quite common. The data is there. It can be in different, let's say, CRM systems. It can be in multiple Excel files, and sometimes associations have an Excel file per every single event that they organize, where they track the registrations and also attendance. So the data is there, it exists, but it's not really being analyzed and used, right? So often just scattered across different systems, and no one has really kind of a full picture about what's going on with these companies and individuals. So it becomes very much impossible to bring everything together in one place and make a sense of it. In our CRM, for example, we have the engagement metrics that shows our customers how many events every individual attended, how many events a company has sponsored, and let's say how many campaigns even, right, been received and opened by a contact. And this is also very helpful when, for example, associations have meetings with their members, or they visit them at their offices, or they invite members to their offices. They can really prepare for this kind of conversations, right? Because they can just in a few clicks open all the statistics and see how engaged they've been throughout the year. So. And of course, if the system can help you to identify who are the least active members, then you can also prepare for conversation with the least engaged members. This is also very important. And here you can also offer the membership renewal discounts, right, to encourage them to stay, because this can help you to reduce the churn rate and still keep the company or individual member in your kind of directory. Because as we know, right, at the end of the day, it always takes more time, effort, and general resources to find a new member than to keep an existing one happy. Now let's talk about the special offers as potential revenue streams. So special offers can give your members and partners extra ways to kind of gain visibility and promote their brand. And it can also help you to generate the revenue for your organization. These special offers, they can be used in different ways. So they can be as part of the sponsorships, partnerships, or memberships packages that you offer. They can be sold as standalone services. right? Even if someone is not a member of your organization, but they can still buy, let's say, a website banner on the website, right? So that their logo of the company and their promotion will be visible. Also, here it's really the sky is the limit, because it all depends kind of on the creativity of the organization. For example, member directory visibility. So this is also can be something put in the membership package, but at the same time can be it can be used also for sponsors. So to be visible in the directory, in the list of members. Some associations, they, for example, add ads within the newsletter, right, that are hyperlinked. They add like a special sections on the landing pages of their events, where they give extra visibility to their sponsors and partners. And if your organization has or would like to introduce a community space for the members, or let's say a forum, right, then the different things can be promoted within the community post, the community banners and pin messages. So as you can see, there are different ways how sponsors can be be getting more visibility, what kind of things you can include in the membership package, and what services can be sold separately outside of the membership offerings. Now let's talk about renewals. So from our conversations from associations, renewals is it's a very painful topic. Because usually the membership management, even like in the membership management software, right, you have kind of two main how can I say, like, parts. One is related to applications, another one is related to renewals. And with the membership applications, it's always much easier, because usually if it's an organization that is very well established, they don't have a huge amount of membership applications that they receive throughout the year. Even if it's, let's say, 12, right, it's really manageable, even without having a CRM system. But the problem starts is when it's a established organization and they need to manage their renewals. So if you have already 50 members or 100 members, or imagine 300 or 500 or 1,000 members, that you have to make sure that they are renewing at the end of the year. That's way more complicated than just processing, let's say, 10 membership application forms throughout the year. So when we look at the data from different studies, there are generally top 3 reasons why members don't renew their membership. First is the lack of engagement, which we covered in the very beginning. Second is the lack of value. Probably we would need a separate webinar to cover this. And the third is the just simply members forget to renew. So for example, they didn't realize their membership was up for renewal, they never received the invoice, they forgot to pay, and no one followed up with them. So so basically they just, for a very simple reason, their membership just gets expired. And that's why automation is such a game changer here, right? So there are some options where you can set up an auto renewal. You can make it optional, or make it a requirement for certain membership tiers, right? Membership categories. You can, for example, automate the process in terms of the reminders, so you don't have to send individual reminders yourself from Outlook or Gmail, but for example, a CRM would be actually doing it for you. And instead of sending like a last call email, so you can essentially build a multi-touch campaign. So it can be a friendly reminder, like first invoice, then a friendly reminder email. Maybe you can send them a text, it can be a LinkedIn, or even, follow up via phone call. So, when someone or a company actually finishes the membership of the organization, if it happens, then it's also important to have this exit survey. It's important to see why organization or individual did not renew the membership, because this can actually help you, to make the next renewal cycle smoother. Okay. Now let's talk about in general email marketing campaigns that can be used from that can be sent from different email automation tools. Right, so where you have your email marketing campaigns like general newsletters, event invitations, and even notifications. So it is extremely important to be able to track the open rates and also click rates, because that's how you're actually tracking the engagement. And you can see how your audience is responding, right, to the content that you are sharing. Of course, there are some cases where members, prefer receiving Outlook email from a CEO rather than email marketing campaign. But I would say these are very unique cases, very unique scenarios. I, for example, had a conversation with an association that said that they were emailing the entire database every day. And they didn't have any visibility in terms of the open rates and click rates, right? So this is important, because subscriptions is also part of, it's also a way how you can engage with your members and non-members, right? As we discussed, like attendees of your events, right? Who you can target based on their answers in the registration form. And of course, it's important that the newsletters look nicely, right? So with a nice design, because of course the content is very important, but how it's presented is also very important, because sometimes it's not even about what we say, but how we say. So collecting the feedback also, in the form of surveys on satisfaction and needs from the members, it's extremely important. And via surveys, you can also identify new opportunities. So the key takes away from today's webinar is that selling is the continuous engagement. Again, it does not end when organization acquires a new member. It just starts, the relationship starts with the organization or individual member to make sure that they renew, let's say after a year or 6 months, depending on the membership duration. The data-driven personalization is very important. That's why it's good to have different approaches for your members, for the non-members, for your sponsors and partners. And of course, automation can help your organization to grow and also drive efficiency, because the time that you spend on on some manual processes, on manually generating invoices and cross-checking if it's a member registering for an event or a non-member takes just a lot of time, and you can use this time to even, for example, give a call to your member or reach out to them on LinkedIn and ask how are they going and what can you do for them, right, as part of their membership journey with your organization. Just the quick summary also about GlueUp. So as I mentioned, we do provide an association management software that is used by more than 1,500 organizations around the world. And within our all-in-one package, so we do provide a built-in CRM that is equipped with different engagement metrics. It's connected to the membership and event management modules. We also offer campaigns functionality, finance. We provide a member area that is also available on the mobile application, which is also important nowadays. And we also have task management, right, for the team. To manage their time better, and of course with different type of analytics and reports. I would like to thank everyone for your time today. Let's see if there are any question. Let me just stop sharing my screen.
Sonia, I think you did a great job, because nobody's been asking questions. So I don't know if they're going to ask now, possibly. But we've got nothing currently in the open chat, which is great. That means you've covered everything. So I'd like to just say thanks so much, everyone, for joining us today, and a big thank you to Senia for sharing such valuable insight. We've covered a lot of ground, from new ways to generate revenue that align with your mission, to monetizing engagement, diversifying income streams that go far beyond membership dues. And I hope you're all leaving with some practical ideas that you can take back to your own association and start applying right away. I see there is a question here from Lisa. Is there a chance to ask a few questions after this call, please? Yes, of course. Please just reach out to us and you can ask. Otherwise, feel free to ask now and we can answer you. But also, if you'd like to continue the conversation afterwards and learn more about how GlueUp supports associations at building sustainable growth, don't hesitate to reach out to our team or visit glueup.com for more resources. But we will be in touch in any way. In any case, we're going to be mailing you with a recording of today's session with contact details as well. So, of course, you'll be able to chat to us there. And thank you for spending our time with us today. We appreciate your participation, your great questions, because I see Catherine has asked a question now. What are the top recommendations for new associations?
That's a very good question, Catherine. We actually have the blog post, if I'm mistaken, on our website that covers, step by step how you can create this membership packages in the best way possible if you're just setting up a new organization. So we'll just make sure to email you this blog post. And I'm sure you will find it very helpful.
We can actually share that link to that post in our follow-up mail as well.
Definitely will do that.
Thank you again, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and we look forward to seeing you at our next session.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Bye.